Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of El Supercast. With me today is Jackie Ray Jones, also known as Debbie from Manos, Hands of Fate. How are you doing today, Jackie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, though I'm still physically exhausted from Kineticon, which ended yesterday.
Wow. Wow, yeah. So, wow. How many days is that?
It started, Thursday was the pre-reg for picking up badges, and there was a few panels in the nighttime. And technically it's Thursday to Sunday, but since there's a lot of people that pre-register, Thursday is open for the dealers to set up their booths and everything, so that way there's no conflicts when the convention starts.
Oh, okay. That's good. Cool.
So tell us about this book that you're working on. What has been the progress with the Manos book? Or is it the Manos Book of Fate?
Yes. It's, well, right now the title is Debbie Reveals All. And it's the behind-the-scenes stories of Manos, Hands of Fate. Or at least that's how it began. And I started researching, and I put a lot of research in, and I found out that I enjoy research and that I really enjoy uncovering new information. And as things progressed, it's kind of become a domino effect. My research is pretty much done, but I found things that I just really can't believe. Like, I know now who the woman is who did all the women's voices, including mine. I know who that is now. Mm-hmm. And I also know who all the musicians and vocalists are on the soundtrack of Manos. And I've talked to one of them, the vocalist, who did Forgetting You and Magic Circle. Mm-hmm. And so that's the domino effect on that one, is that she led me to other people. So now I should be talking to a couple more of the band members this week, I imagine. I hope.
Nice.
I hope. Yeah. But it's...
So this has really turned into a research/adventure/rediscovery for you.
Well, yeah, because I started off telling the stories that I know and, interviewing my dad, and I talked to Bernie Rosenblum while he was still alive. Mm-hmm. I'm so grateful about that because, wow, because he's not here now to talk to us.
Yeah.
And it just kept growing. It's amazing to me what I've learned and the people that I've connected and how gracious they are. And, I've been talking to some of Hal Warren's family and just other people. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a great story. It's so much more than I imagined it'd be when I started.
Well, that's just wonderful.
So the goal is I'm trying to get it done now, and the goal for me is to have it published early next year.
Okay.
We have a publisher. We're with Bear Manor Media, and my co-author is Laura Mazuka Toops. She lives in Chicago, and this is, how Facebook works. We met on Facebook, and we've been working together for almost a year, and it's just a great partnership. She helps keep me on task. I could not do this without her. I absolutely could not have done this without her. I mean, it's my story. I'm doing the writing, but then she takes it and she does magic with it. She edits it, and and she encourages me, and yeah, it's great.
So, have you done a convention before?
Well, I went to Crypticon, and that was in Seattle, and that was, Memorial Weekend. I was invited up there. It was such short notice. I wasn't on the official celebrity list, but a young man made a film, a documentary film out of an interview that he had done with me, and I didn't know that he was going to make a film out of it. I didn't know he was going to submit it, and he just by chance submitted it to Crypticon, and they accepted it in the short film festival. So he called me and said that I was invited to Crypticon as a guest.
How was your experience at Crypticon?
So I went up. It was my first convention, and I decided to just go up there and enjoy myself and just kind of learn how they work. And my boyfriend and I went. We were both wearing Manos shirts, and I had some postcards that briefly described what I was doing, who I was. And anybody who looked or said anything about Manos, we would tell them who I was. And by Saturday, there was this buzz going around, and people were seeking me out, and the next thing I know, I was greeted by a young man in this beautiful purple suit and bowler hat and vest, and he came up to me and he says, I just want to introduce myself. I'll be your celebrity handler next year. And I thought, what? So anyway, it turns out I'm a special guest. I'm a celebrity guest next year at Crypticon.
That's great.
And while I was there, I was able to talk to a couple of the other conventions that had tables and booths, and talk to some of the celebrities and learn about how it works. Michael Berryman, he played in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Hills Have Eyes and Weird Science. He's been in so many things. Very interesting looking man. And he really doesn't even need makeup. But he was so gracious. He gave me a good half hour of his time just telling me how it works. And so I have these wonderful mentors like Joel Hodgson, and I have spoken on several occasions when I've interviewed him for the book, and what a nice man he is. He's just been so wonderful in giving me his time and kind of mentoring me on how this whole thing works. So I feel very, very fortunate. So I'm really excited because next year is the 50th anniversary since Manos, The Hands of Fate premiered in 1966. And the book is coming out. The restoration will be out in mid-October. And, all these things are happening. And so I'm really prepared to travel next year. I'll travel, I'll go to cons, and I'll promote my book.
That sounds great. I'm sure the fans will really get a kick out of that.
Well, we all will. Because I enjoy it as much as they do. I really do. I'm very excited about next year.
Now, a question. Are you still making those Manos master robes?
Yes. I haven't really been pushing them because they are very labor intensive. But I certainly would make some if someone ordered. They're a limited edition of 100, and I've sold 9 so far, and I've sold them one to a woman who is under 5 foot tall, and I made one for a man in England who is somewhere. He was, I think, 6'6". So, they're custom made for sure. And I make them just the way my mother did, because my mother made the original robe that my dad wore in Manos, The Hands of Fate. So, anyhow, I'm seeing my dad tomorrow, and I have one of the robes that fit him, and we'll be taking some professional photographs of him in the robe tomorrow.
Nice.
So I will be posting that. I'll be putting that on my Etsy site too, the pictures. So that's where you can find the robe, is on my Etsy store site, which is under the name Jackie Raye, JACKEYRAYE. That's my shop name. I can't change it, so. You can also find me through Facebook. Anything Debbie's Manos, just Google Debbie's Manos and I'm going to pop up. My blog, my website, my Facebook. So you can definitely find me.
So has anyone approached you for maybe, everyone has been talking about the Manos HD cleaning up version. Have anyone interviewed you for that, or talked to you about the Manos sequels or prequels or everything else under the sun that the fans are doing?
Yeah. Well, the HD Blu-ray, the restoration of Manos, is being released by Synapse. Approximately, I think April 15th is the date I heard. So October 15th. So it's coming up. And then the prequel, the prequel, isn't it? The Rise of Torgo by David Roy. He says he's getting ready. So I think he's about ready to release that. So I'm hoping in the next couple months. And what else is happening? Well, there's no more sequel. That's done.
Yeah, I think the fans figured that out the last time we talked. So
and then, I've heard rumors about a remake, but, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any other... my book. Of course. It's just great timing with the 50th anniversary. Oh, I just saw somebody post something. A guy just wrote a musical about Manos. So that... so I'm interested to see that, or to at least hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jackie.
Well, thank you, Pito. Nice talking with you.
Oh, yeah. And hopefully we'll see each other next year at Kineticon.
That would be great. I will definitely contact them.
All right, this has been another edition of El Supercast, and may the Manos hands of fate bring fate to you.